Okay, so recording, talking about 2021 goals, right? We all know about SMART goals, right? What's the acronym? Specific, and then measurable.
Durable.
Maintainable.
Attainable.
That's a good one too. I've heard measure. And then A is
Attainable.
attainable. Oh, okay. Yeah. I thought you said
That's where
maintainable. Maintainable. That's a good goal.
that is a good one. Maintainable.
Okay. And then what is the R?
especially for me.
Realistic.
Realistic. And T is trackable.
Trackable.
Okay.
Time.
So yeah, let's talk about that.
Someday we'll remember all those.
Right. let's set, a goal. Like, tell us your goal. It could be, you can say a personal goal, you can say a health goal, and a business goal, right? For your Beachbody business. Or say all three, right? If you got them. So what do you think? You have one, Chris?
Yeah, I actually have several. So as I've posted in our Saturday morning chats, I've been making it a goal to see if I can do a certain number of boxes on the business activity tracker every week. And so in my mind, because I didn't get seven boxes all 7 days of the week last week, I'm just going to go ahead and repeat that and do 7 boxes again and for this week. So when Wednesday comes, when all 7 boxes are checked, Thursday comes and I say, okay, now we're doing 8. This next Thursday, I've been going to go ahead and actually start the business side of it, as far as like initiating the contacts again, the whole, follow 100, unfollow 100. That one thing that Sherry shared with us with the following the dream accounts, I'm just going to do one of those a day. And then what Tom shared with us with Shalene Johnson's growing your Instagram PowerPoints, I'm going to be doing all of that. That's technically would be 2 boxes, 2 extra boxes, because one is like initiate contacts, but then it's like follow up on likes, comments, and stuff like that. So I'm actually going to see if I can do 9 boxes, but goal is 8. So it's just, just keeping it consistent with 1 extra box a week.
Right.
So that's going to be continuing. Health goals, I've been making it a point. I've been working out literally every day. And today I worked out before I did this. So it's 46 days in a row right now that I've worked out. And I'm starting to realize that with that physical exercise, it's also a mental thing too. So I'm learning to, challenge my thoughts, challenge my insecurities while I'm working out as well. So that's kind of also like my personal development at the same time there. So physical is for right now is I'm working out every day. Business goals is still continuing that 1 extra box a week. And then I don't know if I'll do it January, but I want to see if by February, because February Cup and all that, I want to make my goal hit SC5 in February for sure. Like I said before, this next Thursday, I'll start initiating contacts and start contacting people. I don't know if I'll be able to hit SC5 January. It'd be awesome, but starting to build relationships and starting to talk with people and stuff. I don't know if I will. It'd be awesome to sell my very first challenge pack in January, but like I said, SC5, I'm not so sure if I can do that on January. We'll see how that goes. But the goal right now is, I'll just go ahead and show you guys right now. So far I'm up to date so far for this week. The only thing I need to do today is drink my Shakeology, but I'm going to do that later today for breakfast. So that's not an issue, but everything else has gotten done. And so, so eventually, as I'm starting to get more people and stuff like that, and as I start to see, income start to trail in, then I'll start making money goals. But those are the 2 biggest ones for me right now, is continue working out every day and continue doing 1 extra box per week and see how far I can keep pushing further.
That's great goals. When you had mentioned the larger goal of SC5 in February.
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking when you were talking about the goals of hitting the boxes. The goals of hitting the boxes is a very, what do you call it? Specific. That's very specific,
Specific.
right?
Yeah. Mhm.
But I think you also need to, and we all need to also have those larger goals of like why, right? That's what
Right.
you
Mhm.
remember we talked about the why, right? Ask why do you need to check these boxes, right? Why are you checking
Mhm.
these boxes, right? And
Mhm.
then your SC5 goal, that's a good goal too, but why are you, do you want to hit SC5, right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then you could say, well, it's because I want to start making money. Okay, well, why do you want to start making money, right? And how
Mhm.
much money do you want to start making? And what will that do for your life, right? So something
Exactly.
that goes along with goals is vision board. I know a lot of coaches do vision boards.
Mhm.
You guys aren't familiar with them. I've done them in the past. That's where you take a picture, right? You visualize what you want, right? And it
Mhm.
could be as big as a dream house or whatever, right? Or it could just
Mhm.
be, I want to take a vacation this year or whatever, right? And that
Mhm.
gives you a big goal to work towards. And then it makes sense. Okay, why am I checking these stupid boxes every day? Right?
Mhm.
Because
Right.
you have a big goal of what you're working towards, right?
Mhm.
Maybe it's that it's not even the rank. A lot of people say, well, I want to be diamond, this year. Well, why? Why do you want to be diamond? Right?
Mhm.
What is it all about just getting that rank and, going to summit
Mhm.
with that, or is there more? Hopefully there's more,
Yeah.
right?
No, absolutely. The way that I've been viewing it is that I've been seeing it as, how we when we start working out, we have calloused hands and, eventually, we grow our muscles to push more, right? And that's where I'm seeing is whereas like, okay, I did this. Okay, now let's go one more step further. Let's go ahead and move up and move up and move up. And I mean, nothing against what you said with the vision boards and stuff. That's great to look at and you say, okay, let's actually make and see why I want to move forward and all that. That's fantastic. And then the thing that I find myself getting in the trap in, which is why I never really did as much as a coach, was that I would say I would measure myself up to where my goal is going to be in the future. And then I'm like, oh, but where I'm at, I'm not there yet. So I quit. And
Right.
so I say, no, 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 I need to come back into this moment. And I say, okay, look, where am I at now? Look where I was back in the past and said, hey, you know what? I actually grew, from the past till now. And now I'm attaining this, so what I've learned to do is come back into the moment and say, okay, I am here. I need to move forward from here. Um, One other thing that I would recommend to people, you don't have to do this. I also have another goal that doesn't necessarily have like a time frame on it. The goal is for me for this year, and actually it started 46 days ago, was I'm practicing being comfortable, being uncomfortable. If I say to myself, hey, I don't know if I really want to do this, whatever it is, doing dishes or whatever, I say to myself, you know what? Because you had that thought, you're going to go do the dishes. Because you had that thought, you're going to go do the laundry. And so
Okay.
it's like, okay, I'm feeling uncomfortable about it, but you know what? Let's go out, let's get up and do it. And so that's one thing I want to also move forward with as well is like I said before, like with attaining the goals and doing all the follow 100, unfollow 100, that can be uncomfortable, but guess what? Let's do it, because it's being uncomfortable and let's move forward with it. So what I'm looking for this year is that growing bit by bit, but definitely starting in February, starting to make money doing the February Cup and definitely hit higher than zero for sure.
Definitely.
So
Right. Oh, we just had somebody else join.
phone
Who's on the
number.
phone?
Hello, good morning. This is Pam.
Pam.
Oh, hey, Pam.
Yes. Hello.
Glad you could join us.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Hey, so
Happy New Year.
we just been talking about goal setting and sharing some of our specific goals related to health, fitness, and what we want out of the business this year. So think about, what you want, and we'll come back to you. So yeah, anyway, Chris, that was, yeah, great goals. I completely understand what you're saying. You know, if you set that big goal and you know, don't make progress on it, then you feel like you want to quit or whatever, right?
hmm
So,
For sure.
and it's amazing that, you know, you started 46 days ago and you have been doing your fitness consistently. I can tell you one of my goals is this 9-week control freak. I want to do the freaking program like consistently and stick with it, you know, because it's been a while. You're right. It's been a while since I've done a program exactly, sticking to the days, right? It's like, yeah, I'll do 21-day fix, but it may take me 4 weeks instead of 3 weeks, right? You know, or I don't stick to the nutrition guide or right the way that I'm supposed to. So I want to stick to it exactly. That's my plan. Starting Monday, sticking to the nutrition. I hate those freaking containers. I don't know. I'm gonna try
mindset.
I'm gonna try the reset. Yeah, the containers, but if not, I'll have to switch over to 2B. But you know, the problem that I always run into,
Well,
and
Now,
like,
she does give you the option.
yeah, I know. But you know, she recommends, of course, the containers, right? That's her container.
Yeah, that's her thing. So
Well, it's
But,
hers.
but the problem I always run into, and Tom, I know you use the containers all the time, is it's like you have to eat so one thing, I don't know what the word is for that, but it's like, if you want a yellow, well, it's just got to be yellow, right? And it's like, all the time Amanda's making like casseroles that have meat and yellow and green and stuff in them. So I don't know how to separate those into those stupid containers. So what do I do?
Yeah, you kind of, I mean, when you do stuff like that, you really kind of have to dissect the recipe. I mean, that is the hard part, which makes it, difficult and to be so much easier. But for me, I just find like, and, I get obsessive. Like, I won't even eat, like, if my wife makes something that I can't account for, I'll just, she'll get pissed off, but I'll just, chicken salad, blah, blah, blah. No, I mean, but that's really how it does work. If you do that, I mean, it takes obviously, a lot, but it's tell Amanda, this is it. I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of recipes to choose from in that book. I don't know if she likes cooking for recipes, but there's some good stuff in those books. I actually gave mine away to somebody because I never really liked to cook, and I just bought another one and I was looking through it. That's one of my things is I want to focus more on personally my diet and also doing a lot more posting about it because those food posts freaking blow up. But yeah, you gotta. It's challenging, but for me, 2B mindset is just too lenient, and it doesn't work for me. It's just
yeah. But I know that I liked using the MyFitnessPal app, right? When I did P90X, that's what I used. And it was great because you could put in like whatever and it would break it down the macros for you, right? So it was kind of nice, right?
yeah.
well, it's kind of similar. I mean, if you break down, what's in it just by container. I mean, it's a little more
Yeah,
cheap.
you got to do it manually as opposed to the app doing it for you. That's the difference, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Go for it.
Yep.
So how many days? Come on, 9 weeks.
Piece of cake for you, Tom. Yeah.
Last thing he should have said is he wants to get through this program. Now I am gonna drive him nuts.
Yes. Yes. Without missing. That's the key, right?
Accountability.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep. We got our challenge group.
Still-
What was that, Connie?
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to be able to do this. I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to be able to do 9 week in the truck. So
Oh yeah, because of the equipment.
I got like places I could do the resistance bands from that would make the upper and middle, but I haven't found that low spot where I might be able to move my legs in that as well. So I'm still trying to figure it out. I may not be using the track thing, but I found a high spot and a low spot or a medium spot in the truck that I could run the band through.
Okay,
Hook
that's
it up
good.
inside and do it inside the truck, or do you hook it like outside on the door and do it outside of the truck?
No, I do not do exercises outside the truck. A female outside the truck, bending, squatting. Yeah, no, sorry.
Maybe if you had your own private, parking lot.
You're right.
Well, see, there you
Now,
go,
like
your
that day
goal,
that
Connie, there's your goal to get one of those trucks that you can have that room in it.
no, my goal is to get out of the truck and be at home.
There you go.
Okay.
Yes, yeah, that's the big goal, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So, yeah.
my business goal would be to help. I mean, literally, I just want to help my coaches succeed. If I could help, 2 coaches become diamond in 2021, that would be a huge success. Not only for me, I mean, it would help me, of course, but it would also help our team, right? Help our team
Mhm.
grow and help, you guys, right? Or, whoever is willing to do it. That's what gives me the joy, right? Of seeing you guys succeed. And, whether it's, you or existing coaches or new coaches, I would just love to see some of my coaches become successful in 2021. So that's definitely a one of the bigger business goals that I have, but it comes down to, like you said, Chris, of those daily activities, right? Of checking the boxes and, don't put off. You mentioned starting to invite. Now is the time, January, definitely
Mhm.
do that every day, check that box every day because everyone is looking to get started now,
Mhm.
and I think you'll have the most success by inviting people right now, especially in the 9 weeks, which just came out.
Mhm.
I just did my newsletter to everybody. Hopefully everybody got it. And then I also sent out my BOD renewals to everyone, and I've had several people respond on those. So it looks like January should be a really good month. So.
Mhm.
So Tom, you want to go? What's yours?
I mean, I certainly believe in goals and it seems, when you do write them down and read them every day. I mean, so far the track record's been pretty good, except some of the ones that may have been too lofty. But that being said, I'm gonna change it up a little bit. Have you read 10X?
Yeah.
I mean, his approach is screw the smart, attainable, basically. I mean, he doesn't say it like that, but pretty close.
Right.
But I'm gonna go. I mean, he's saying, well, like everybody's with these smart goals and achievable goals. He's like, putting it in our terms, say like, if you're gonna go for, I want to be a 2-star diamond, go for 10. If you miss it, and you get to, you miss it, and you can maybe surpass it.
Mhm.
And his whole approach with the 10X, I really enjoyed the book. I'm actually reading it the second time or listening to it the second time.
Mm.
So I'm gonna really sit down and go through all my goals and I'm gonna 10X it. So I'm really
Awesome.
yeah. I really, something with that whole approach just kind of stuck with me. I mean, I've been through a lot of read a lot of personal development books, and I know, Chris, when you find one that hits you, it makes an impact. And
Oh
this was-
yeah.
and I mean, a lot of them do, but this was like, just made sense to me. And I've been
Mhm.
writing goals and doing it. So I mean, I don't have them all set yet. I'm really gonna have to sit down and dive into them. I mean, I know the basics of what I want to achieve for the year, but I'm gonna really do it step by step and really just turn it up all together. I mean, I want to get things rolling. It's, kind of sick of this job.
Yeah.
You mean all
Loved
those
it. That's
inside
good.
rainstorms you don't,
I mean, I enjoy it. I really do enjoy it. I get a thrill of it. It's just the commute to it and the fact that the sense of accomplishment and everything I get there is just from mine on my own. I mean, I have more pride and respect in the building than the owners do. And it's just, so on the flip side, it gets very frustrating and that they really don't care. So it's just, I
But
enjoy what I do, but I love coaching. I'm totally it's my thing, passionate about it, love helping people, and it's just I thoroughly enjoy it. And
I do think this year has been a great change for you though, right, Tom? Like no traffic, no one in the building but you.
yeah. I mean, but the traffic got bad real fast again, so I'm kind of back in that same situation. Maybe it's not quite as bad, but it's still pretty bad, or it's pretty bad again. It was nice for a while. It was a change, but then it was like kind of eerie. But yeah, it was definitely a change of pace of the building being empty and all that, and it still is. I mean, now we're opening. We're gonna have 3 guests checking in on Friday. It's like, why are we even opening?
Right.
So it's just now it's I got the GM back in the building who just drives me nuts and just screws everything up, and he's there for this because there's 3 guests there. It's just bizarre. So I mean, it's always fun and all, but I just I want to get this thing go full force. It's been going great. I mean, I took full advantage of the free time I had when I had it, and I mean it's definitely made a difference. But I need to zone in from the personal aspect. I do great with the workouts, but with the nutrition, I mean, everything I eat is clean, but I just don't eat enough still because I get tied up in what I'm doing. So I really want to set some good goals as far as where I want my weight. I'm pretty good with my weight, but it's more me, I'm body fat oriented, so I want to see where I get my body fat down to and make sure I get my meals in and do more meal prepping. So
well, you already do fantastic at that, right?
well, I not enough, because it's it's great to prep it. You got to actually eat it, right? It's like if I have my meals for the day and then I'm eating, I come home and I'm just still in my bag because I didn't get time to eat. And it's that's just obviously got to just make the time, and sometimes it just doesn't. Shit blows up all at once. It's just you look at it's fucking time to go home already. But so I got to get better at it, more diligent with it, and I do great. Like I'll prep all my veggies and everything every weekend, and I kind of always wanted to do add the proteins and stuff day by day. I'm thinking maybe just do that for the whole week too. Because what I really do now is I'll do all my vegetables and side dishes, and it's enough that I have enough of a variety to choose from for the week. And then I'll just say if I'm gonna have chicken tonight, I already have Brussels sprouts and broccoli and this and that, and but I don't really plan. I don't have like each meal laid out. So maybe and it's with the commute, it does make it a little difficult to do that on a daily basis. So I gotta come up with a better plan that's gonna work.
So do you cook your own food? Like, does Teresa cook for the rest of the family and then you cook your own food?
Well, that's why basically they'll eat all the kids eat the veggies. It's a different story, but like Teresa will eat that too. So, I'll have everything in the fridge and just take my portions with me to go. But at night it's usually like, we have our stuff ready. She'll cook whatever it is. And, for the family, and she's good about it. Like, if she makes something like she knows I'm not going to eat, she'll just throw a piece of chicken. So dinner is like, will be covered. In worst case scenario, if she doesn't make something that, for me, like, I gotta always have like a backup of a grilled chicken salad or a rotisserie chicken in the fridge. Yeah. But for the most part, she'll make something that I will eat too, and or just make me something totally separate. So the dinner part, it's more during the day. It's just, just making the time, or, to really just sit down and eat. I mean, the shakes save me, the bars save me, but you need more than that. Like, sometimes I'll drink 2 or 3 shakes or just because that's all I have time for.
Yeah.
It's not enough. If you look at the lose weight, I guess maybe it's a good problem, but I really, I'm trying to, maintain muscle and just lose fat, and you really have to eat enough. And
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So let me go back to your business goals. So I know you didn't give anything specific, but like to Chris's point, if you set a big goal, let's say 10-star diamond, right? I mean, basically, if you back into that, you're going to need to break a diamond a month. And then, if that doesn't happen, how are you going to handle that? Right. Like mindset wise. Right. Or is that even, obviously it may not be realistic. So how are you going to handle it?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to make it completely, unrealistic. I mean, and I mean that, I guess in all honesty, depending on what you put into it, I don't think anything is within
Sure.
reason. But
Yeah.
I'm gonna basically what I want. I'm gonna sit down and with I have a binder that I break up into tabs. So I have long-term goals, short-term goals, daily goals, like everything in between. So I start with the lofty goal and then break it down until I get to my monthly goals and what my daily tasks are. So it takes me a little time to put it together, and then each month, or each day you go through it, but each month you kind of check off what you did, and then it kind of alters where you're at, how you going forward. So I'm gonna start off. I'm gonna shoot for the stars, and then just to check all what it's gonna take to do that. And I mean, it got really, really busy again all of a sudden for me at work, and then when I had that window of free time, and I just kind of went really ballistic. I mean, I want to figure out a way to even do that if I plan posts ahead and record videos ahead and do all that. So I don't think it's going to be impossible. It's just I have to really be more organized about it. There's a lot of times I just shoot, and which I kind of enjoy too. I'll just wing it. I'll shoot from the hip and just do things regular. But sometimes the whole day gets away from you, and you didn't post anything. And when I found I was doing that, when I was really, really consistent with checking those boxes and going, you see the following growing and the engagement going, and as I shared that post with you guys the other day, the conversation I had, it's not always like an immediate effect, but that's like where it goes back to the compound effect. I mean, it's still helping. It's still building up over time. There'll be a lot of times where you have a quick conversation, get somebody in your group right away, and then things kind of happen quick. But the stuff that you're doing daily, it ends up, it helps you in the end. It really does work. You may not see it like that, but you still have conversations with people every day, and eventually it pans out to something. And I keep seeing that happening over and over again, so I know it works. And I've got to focus more on coaching and the business side of it, getting coaches in the business side of it, because I seem to do really well with helping people with, reach their goals on the fitness side, and, getting people into the groups. And that's great too, because, that leads to coaches in many cases. But I got to find better ways to using the approach I've been using, and, focusing more on just on business builders too, more of the sneak peeks and things like that, because they always help. And it's just it's a lot. I know I'm all over the place right now, but I'm gonna sit down and organize it and really just zone in, find a way that works and make it happen.
All right. Sounds good. Let us know, what the plan is when you figure it out, and we'll be there to support you.
For
I
sure.
know it.
All right. So let's jump over to Pam. Pam, are you still there?
I am.
Okay.
All right. So as far as, can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Because I'm in the car. So as far as personal goals, I've already broken it down by like a daily list for myself. So one of them, of course, is the nutrition piece of it. I know the areas, like I don't have to write everything down on the nutrition piece, because I know the areas that I need to focus on, right? Because everything else, I don't need to write down stuff that I'm already mastering. So I have that piece down. And I call it daily movement, although I'm going to be doing Control Freak. I think you guys said it's up to 30 minutes, maybe a little less than that, but I have a 30-minute movement goal per day. And then, of course, in addition to that, I'll have, I have already steps, and I'll increase my daily steps. But I think I'm starting off at, I don't have it in front of me, but like 7,000 steps per day, which is pretty easy to get. And then I'll slowly increase that as the weeks go on. But I want to make them achievable short-term goals first, and then I'll increase those. In addition to that is my water. So my hydration piece of it, that's one area that I lack in. So my initial goal would be at least to do 6 8-ounce glasses a day, and then I'll increase that as time goes on. But
Yeah, they say that
that's
you're
an
supposed
area
to
of weight.
do like a ½ ounce of
8.
water for every pound of body weight. Is that correct, guys?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like-
you take your,
Yeah,
you
go ahead.
take your body weight, divide it by 2, and that's how many, the minimal of how many ounces per day you should be drinking of water. So if you were, 120 pounds or 150 pounds, whatever, divide that by 2, and that would be your ounces of water per intake per day.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's one area that I have to work on. So
Me too.
again, I have it set, and then I'm increasing it as time goes on. So I have goals to increase the water intake as time goes on. But initially, I wanted to make sure that it was achievable, because otherwise I don't want to get frustrated, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Say I'm not meeting anything if I'm going for everything. So the short term and then the long term of what I'm working towards. But the biggest thing I think that's going to be important is the documentation. So documentation of exercise, food log, and food log could be, whether it's from a phone or a piece of paper, but just keeping track of it, so that way I'm more aware of what I'm doing. Because sometimes we take little bites of here and there. Just like you don't count it, but I want to track everything. And it's a pain to do it, but at least to see where I'm at. And I won't do that long term. That's just a short term. But I do want to document from a video, which I'm very uncomfortable with. So what I think I'm going to do is start off documenting into a private Instagram, and kind of get the flow of it. And then I maybe create one that I can start sharing the exercises, which will work towards the business piece of it, right? But since I'm new to this whole thing, I first got to get over the hump of my own putting myself out there, which I'm not comfortable. I'm like a private person, so
Mhm.
and people are mean online. I don't know how you guys do it. People are mean.
That's why they invented the
I
block
know.
button.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So I guess my question for the group, when you're documenting like on an Instagram or any of the social media sites, do you have any suggestions on what works or what doesn't work? Because I want to be able to eventually get to the point where people are then following me and asking me questions, so then the business piece of it could start taking off. Any suggestions?
Tom, you want to take that one?
Yeah, I mean, I know you're saying do it private, and because you're kind of not sure, but I think people relate more when they see that you're real and you're struggling too, you're starting too. So I would just be yourself, be honest, and get out there and I know you're uncomfortable with it, but that will get better. I believe me, you're talking to probably the biggest introvert you're ever gonna meet, but no, I'm serious. I don't shut up now, but that's because of the years of this, and I mean that's just another way it's changed my life. And believe me, I'm a happier guy. But just document what you're doing for real, and that's I'm struggling. I'm starting out. Anybody want to join me? That's how get people involved with that, and just share what you're doing. And whether it's like shit, I ate a freaking donut for breakfast, I gave in. I'm gonna I'm trying harder tomorrow, but I'm having this for lunch. Just share what you're doing, and a lot of that in your stories makes it an easy way to do it in stories, because you just kind of jump on and just talk or take pictures and just write if you're not comfortable talking yet. And even if your group is public, I mean, that doesn't mean a million people are going to be seeing it. If they're not following you,
That's true. Yeah.
if they're not following you, they won't see it, and you got to start using hashtags to get people to see it. Don't get me wrong, you want people to see it, but don't feel like oh, crap, I just posted this and it went out to the the world. It's not going to hit that many people that quick. It's as you're growing, but I think as you're going through the process yourself, and you're not alone. There are other people. It's a whole world full of people that are going through the exact same thing. So the fact that they can relate and and we'll go join the process with you, I think that's a better opportunity to for yourself, because it helps you stay accountable, and it helps your business, because you get people that want to go along with you, and they don't see you. You look at all these posts of people already, that's like everything's perfect. Life is great, and I eat perfectly every single day. I work out every single day. A lot of that, you look at that, it's not it's not real. It's not reality. So don't think you got to be perfect and 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And the only thing that I would add on to that, as far as Tom saying, being yourself. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Connie.
Uh-huh.
Go ahead, Chris. You
Okay.
got it.
Okay. So I was going to say, if you actually look at my Instagram for the past, I would say week and a half, I've been posting short 60-second videos on my Instagram. And as far as being yourself, as what Tom says, do what's most comfortable with you. Like, for instance, for me, I'm huge into personal development and growing yourself. Like, for instance, my video today that I posted was, yesterday I watched for the very first time the movie Boss Baby. And there was a line that agitated me in Boss Baby, and it was the kid, not the baby, but the kid in the movie goes, every person has their breaking point. And I said, there's a subliminal message that's being communicated with everyone has their breaking point, means this is your limit, and that's what you're going to be, and that's all that's going to be. Versus you saying, this is your limit, you can push past your limit. Like, if you can only squat 80 pounds to begin with, you can push that up to 90. Then you can push that up to 100. Then you can push it. Yes, we have limits, but the subliminal message, at least that I got from seeing that movie, was this is your limit, and that's all you're going to be. And so I said, hey, look, I don't like that message. I think it's ridiculous. I think that you can push past it. It's just something like that. And I'm not saying that you need to go into personal development like I do. I mean, I tend to obsess over it, but like what Tom says, just be you. And I just jump straight into what I'm talking about. I don't do this whole like, hey guys, how are you all doing, and all that stuff. I'm like, no, I just jump straight into my point, because I'd much rather be direct, so other people tend to be a little bit more fluffy than that, but that's just not my style. So
Yeah, those are both great points. I mean, yeah, and I think my biggest thing is actually, it's not talking on the phone and all that, because I'm a project manager, so I run conference calls all the time around the world, and train people. So that part's not the problem. The problem is putting myself out there from a social media world, because it's a different world, right? But I think you guys make both great points. And I'm a to the point person as well. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's the take. I would love to get your Instagram and follow you to kind of see what you're doing, both of you guys. And that would actually, then I can start looking through those videos to see kind of what you guys are doing, and then start, I guess, doing that, right? The only way to do it is to start doing it, and then change it, I guess, modify if I need to on the way, as I'm doing it. But so for everyone, what are people most gravitate towards? I mean, yes, people like to know stories and stuff like that, but like, what do they gravitate? Do you notice any pattern?
I think what it comes down to is when you go out on social media, you're trying to attract people who are like you. So what you're going to do is you're going to think about, okay, you first want to put together an audience of who do you want to talk to? Think about, do you want to just target women? Do you just want a mixed group? And then as you narrow that target down, then you start formulating your messages or what you're saying to that group only. And you'll start attracting those type of people to you as long as you keep that out. If you start, talking a little bit about this and a little bit about that, which isn't really who you are, like what Tom and Chris has said, then you're not really getting your true audience. But it will take a little bit of time, but you just focus in on who you want to attract, who you want to be part of your group, and just write yourself to that audience.
Yeah, that makes sense because people like to be around like people. So
Mm-hmm.
they have similar. Yeah, that's a great point.
Also, to Brent's
So-
point is in
Yeah.
order to like you have to have the content, but then no one's gonna just find you, right? Unless
Right.
you're using hashtags that probably would relate to you, right? And then
Mm-hmm.
even that I find obviously, Tom does reels. Those are fantastic for attraction, right? Reels and IGTV and stuff. But also what I do is I target people, right? So I will search the hashtags, or I will search followers of followers, and then I will follow those people, right? And when I follow those people, they then follow me back, right? So one thing that I was also going to suggest to you, Pam, is I was the same way. I was in IT and didn't like social media or didn't like sharing on social media in the beginning. I still don't really like it, but I started a private group, right? So you could start a private group on Facebook, right? That's closed, right? Or you could start a private group on a bod group, right? And the part that I was okay with, right, is inviting people into my private group where there I could share more, right? So maybe that's something that you could do too, right? I mean, of course, you definitely want to share on social media as well, but maybe you want to share more in the private group than you do on social media, right? So that's just a different approach. You can use the social media as a platform to attract and to find people that then you can invite into a private group where you're sharing more of stuff that you maybe aren't willing to share on social media.
Yeah, it's that's definitely definitely a great
And-
approach.
Pam, I also have been learning that we can be the positive. We don't have to be the negative out there.
Mm-hmm.
If we start growing positively, eventually positivity is going to take over. If you try to stay positive to what you're doing, you know what you do, you know what you like, stay with those areas, things that are comfortable to you to go out on video with. If you like doing the exercises, even if you're not good at them, put out there you like doing it, even though you're struggling, but you're getting the positive out there.
Mm-hmm.
I get some of the
Yeah,
best.
it's easier to be
Does
yourself,
that make sense?
for sure.
Yeah,
It
it's
makes
good
total
to
sense.
post.
Easier to be yourself than somebody else. So
Yeah.
Were you
okay,
saying
so I
something,
would
Tom?
love to get
Oh.
your Instagram just to see what you guys post or whatever social media that you go on, TikTok or whatever you guys use.
Yeah,
You're
they
in our Saturday, right? You're in our Saturday morning group.
they shared them in the Facebook chat group, Pam.
Okay, I will look at that then.
Yeah.
On that. Yes, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you everybody for your input on that. It's helpful. It definitely is more helpful than it was before I started this call. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so documenting I think is getting out there, and then from a business perspective, that will come. It's not my immediate goal for like January. I'm going to start doing this. It's first I want to start doing that piece of it, and then I'll start by. I would say by the end of first quarter, I have to map it all out still, but beginning of second quarter, start really full force going through that. But I got to get the comfort piece of it for me, for my process. And then I'll
Pam,
start working on the business piece.
Hey, Pam, I would suggest, you're going to get more comfortable over time, right? Definitely. I agree.
Yes.
But
For
don't,
sure.
don't wait on starting, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
like I mentioned, start that private group now and start inviting people. Like you could throw out on Facebook or Instagram to your existing friends and family, hey, I'm starting a motivation and support group. Is anybody interested in joining me, right? Or I'm starting this new program, right? 9-week control freak or whatever. Is anyone interested in starting with me, right? I mean, what if you even got 2 or 3 people in that group with you, right? That were willing to start. Think of what that's going to do to your self-confidence and your motivation and your, keep you accountable, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, true.
I mean,
It does definitely would keep me accountable.
yeah. I mean, I would
Yeah.
set a goal of I'm going to find 2 people that I can get into my group or 3 people, into my group by the end of January, right? I mean, that's totally realistic and doable.
Feasible, yeah.
You and our,
Yeah,
you're in
that's-
our team Facebook group, right? Team Engage.
Yes.
Yeah.
In there in the files, there's a lot of recordings from other other calls that we had, and we did a lot on Instagram. There's a lot to absorb, but you can look at it at your leisure. But as far as Greg was talking about with hashtags and posting and stuff, there's a lot in there if you have time to backtrack and go look at it.
Oh, I'll definitely check that out. So it gives like tips and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because there's a lot with Instagram. I mean, obviously your posting is part of it, but as far as like what we do with the following, unfollowing, we kind of all do that, and then using the hashtags to reach more people. Instagram's a pretty huge animal, but there's a lot of little tips that make it make it help you get better results and get out to more people.
I love that. Yeah. Okay. I'll definitely check that out. I love that.
I can send them to you, Pam.
Thank you, everybody.
Mhm.
So those are my goals, my personal goals, and then of course we touched on the business, but I still have to dig deeper into that. But
All right, cool. Thank you.
that's mine. Thank you.
All right, who wants to go next?
Well, I guess I will.
Okay.
As you know, I've been a coach for a long time. Still have not made Emerald. I do not do things consistently. I have really hard trouble tracking and doing things consistently. That is my major goal for this starting this year, is to be consistent with my exercises, consistent with the tracking, consistent with as much as I can with nutrition, because I am limited to a small refrigerated type cooler and I don't have an inverter to cook with or anything. So I am basically going to try to keep my nutrition as balanced as I can. And as far as the business will come through with the consistency. And that's been my major issue, is being consistent. I let myself get talked out of, well, I can't do this right now. I got to be here, or I can't do this right now. I got to be there. I need to start planning better.
Well, I will say, Connie, you are, how long have you been a coach? How many years?
Since 2016.
2016. Okay.
5 years.
Well, I mean, you have been very consistent. I mean, as far as sticking with coaching, and, you show up to our calls where a lot of coaches don't, right? And you have not quit. And I've seen a lot of growth in you and a lot of consistencies, but not in the business side, but in the, the health and the fitness and the consistency
The
and
health
the
and
personal development and growth. That side, I've seen a lot of growth in you. So, but yeah, if you can get more consistent with the business side, of course, we all want to see you have more success there. So.
Yeah. And like I said, I know that's the biggest thing, is being consistent with it and tracking and doing the vitals, doing that part of the vitals, the inviting and follow-ups.
Yeah. Well, that's good. I had a coach quit this.
And, you know, my,
Oh, sorry. Were you done, Connie, or were you still saying something?
well, I was gonna say, as you know, my major goal is to get out of the truck. To be at
Yep.
home.
Yes. That would be fantastic. I was just saying that I had a coach quit this week, who was a coach for 4 years, and I could never get her to show up to a single call. I could never get her on the phone. I could never, and but she did stay a coach for 4 years, and she did do the workouts and stuff, but she she quit, and I reached out to her, and she just said, this business doesn't work for me, but I'm like, okay, well, yeah, I mean, I guess it doesn't, but especially when you don't do anything as far as the business goes or try to get help. So anyway, she's found something else, and she's already made more money with that than with Beachbody over the past 4 years. And I'm like, okay, well, good luck to you, but anyway, did you have anything else, Connie, that you wanted to, any other personal goals or?
No, well, like I said, my personal goals is tracking, tracking and being consistent. So as far as business, personal, everything, I've got to really buckle down if I want that major goal.
Awesome. Yeah. All right. Brent.
Tracking is the hardest part.
Oh, sorry. What was that, Pam? Tracking?
Tracking is the hardest part to me. For me, at least it is.
Well, you're a
Writing
project
everything
manager,
down.
so it should be easy for you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, really.
That's what's funny. You know what, though? That's what's funny. Tracking on a project is one thing, but my own personal stuff, it's a challenge for me. It just is. I have to really make an effort to do that. Whereas at work, it's no big deal because that's what I do all the time and manage timelines and all that. So,
Why
but
don't you
it's my
just
own
treat it like a project? Make it that
exactly.
short.
Yeah, that's why it's my goal, right? So
Yeah.
I've already started testing the waters now, but
And if you kind of want to adapt what I'm doing, as far as I said, be comfortable being uncomfortable, you can just say the moment you have a thought of like, oh, I'm kind of feel uncomfortable talking about this, you know what, go ahead and do it, and it doesn't have to be, multiple things, just do one thing, one thing that's uncomfortable, and then just push yourself to do one more thing uncomfortable the next day, that sort of thing. So.
Yeah, it's overthinking it. That's really gets in my way, is the overthinking of it. So.
All right, Brent, you want to go?
Sure. I would say business-wise, even though I've been at it for a while, it's being really more consistent with my business. I'm very consistent with my health. Granted, I think like everybody, our nutrition goes up and down, depending on what season of life we're in and everything else. And that's the thing I got to get together this year is my nutrition, because I'm not going to let COVID be, the excuse. It's just one of those things that, just started not paying attention and boom, my nutrition's out of it. So I got to get that back in, and hopefully 9-week control freak will help me get back. I think I like 2B mindset. For me, it's the easiest thing for me to follow. Those little containers, forget it. I need 3 yellow containers split off throughout the day. That's a math problem. Forget it. I'm not doing that. I'll figure out how to get 2B mindset work in. But I know I have to get my nutrition back in, because pants are feeling a little tight now, and oh well, at least I can still get into them. I haven't moved up the size yet, but I mean, and like I said, business, it's got to get back to be more consistent, following, unfollowing, doing my follow-ups, staying with the success tracker or business tracker, whatever you want to call it, checking that off, and really tracking more and more with it. All that will go to my personal side that once those things start kicking in, the mindset of different things that are going on, with, you're too busy doing this, you don't have time for that. And your mindset, just like what I believe was Pam was saying, that no, I got all these other things, I'll put that off to the side. It's about reeling that mindset back in, stay focused really on what is the task at hand and keeping that there, be the three. And consistency with the business, you get those people starting inviting. I know we talked about it at the beginning, but when you look at your big goal, I forget which planner or which one I was reading it, it's like climbing a mountain. Your goal is to hit the peak of the mountain, right? But they have different stages that you rest at as you climb that mountain. And those are your little goals that you do throughout your big goal. So if your big goal, whatever it is, your main goal up here is to have 100,000 people in your private group. I'm using those numbers fictitiously, but 10xing it, you're going to put that goal out there. So how much as you break it down, like Tom was saying, you break it down, I need 100 people then each month, to go. And after 6 months, I should hopefully have about 600 people in that group. And those are your little stages that we got to set up to reach that major goal. And those are the things that I got to start looking back at is, okay, my goal is to do this to help so many people and break that down into my different stages. So I'm hitting those stages as I reach that main goal or the big goal at the end that would be on our goal board or whatever. So those are the things that I really need to focus on this year.
Yeah, definitely. What was that you brought over, Connie? Is it some containers for Brent?
This is what I have actually calculated and been using. I find that by having more than just the one set, I'm able to prep and just kind of throw it in the sink and grab another one, But yeah, just, way back when it seemed like every time you got a program, you got another set of containers.
I know.
And I actually even have some that are still in a package.
Oh, wow.
I do too. Yeah, I got
a bunch.
Yeah.
so.
Do you guys do about the containers? Are you doing ultimate portion fix like the program, or just doing the container? Because each program comes with its own nutrition program, but then ultimate portion fix itself covers pretty much, you just follow that for anything. Just curious.
I was just gonna do the
Well,
containers,
gen-
right, for the mindset for the control.
9 week.
But is there any difference, right? I mean, I know she said like do a moderate level or something like that, right? Moderate exercise.
Yeah, I mean that is probably the same thing, but it's just like I don't like every time I do a different program. I mean, sometimes my goals change where I need to adjust my portion, my total intake. But I went through the whole ultimate portion whole ultimate portion fix video. I went through like the whole training program again just to kind of refresh. And I kind of like just instead of getting into each program's little differences, I just follow like the one that works for me, and then adjust as my weight may change. But it's a good refresher to watch just the nutrition part of it in general. I think it makes it easier.
Okay. Good advice.
Generally I go by that, but whether you want to maintain or lose weight, or if you're heavy exercise or light exercise, I follow that pattern. Used to, they would tell you how much to intake or not, depending on the program, which is basically following those same rules.
Yeah.
So, and as far as meal planning and that, you're planning by the containers, so you're not, limited to what you're actually eating other than the amount of what you're eating.
Yep.
Cool. All right, Carrie, last but not least.
Yes. No, I'm basically with Connie. Motivation this year has been in the tubes. So I'm gonna definitely get back with the non-negotiable personal development. I think that's the best place to start. And then business goal is to get on the BAT and at least do that 5 days a week. So just start somewhere and try
Yeah.
to get consistent and make it more flowing and less difficult to
Mhm.
force myself.
So
So-
what is your lifetime rank? Were you a emerald or ruby?
Emerald, yeah,
Emerald?
emerald. hmm
Are you still an emerald or not?
I think so. I'm not sure.
Well, your first goal is to find out if you
Well, I
are.
know, I know, I know, but I just figured, wherever I'm at, clean slate and just start from the beginning again. And
Okay.
yeah,
Mhm.
so
Start checking those boxes like Chris does.
yeah,
Mhm.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
doing like Chris.
Yeah.
Yep.
The big,
Start posting consistently on the feed. I do my stories okay, but I need to actually get some quality posts down too. So
Mhm. Mhm.
Awesome.
Yeah, and that mindset of the clean slate, I do that every day. I tell myself it's a clean slate every day. Like I start over from scratch, and I mean, that can be depressing for some people. They're like, "Oh, I'm always starting over." But no, it's actually relieving because it's like, I don't have to be, like what Brent was saying earlier, I don't have to have 600 people in my group tomorrow, I can work on getting 2 people in my group this month or something like that. So
Right.
yep.
And it's also good with like, I'm constantly inviting people into my group, right? People that I find on Instagram. And I always set new goals, right? Of, hey, I'm going to find 5 new people or 10 new people this month, right? Because probably the 10 that I found last month have all disappeared. So it's like you're constantly starting over, right? Right.
hmm
hmm
Or hopefully you've had one that sticks, right? But it's the way it goes.
hmm
So, all right, guys. Well, I think we've gone over our hour. So, all right. Does anybody have anything else before we drop off?
somebody's happy to hear it.
Oh, where's the little dog? We hear him.
Chevy, come. Hold on a minute.
Yep.
We are having a bad hair day.
Oh, no little bows in.
That's awesome.
That's good.
That's the noise maker today. My little Chewbacca.
Uh-huh. It's a bad hair day.
Now, doesn't she? Doesn't she?
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
All right, guys. We'll see you
Okay.
later. Have a great week.
Yep. See you next week.
Thank you, everyone. Happy New Year.
Bye now.
You too.
All
Bye.
right.